So this recipe today is a delicious collard green that was made in a crock pot, so it frees up your stove. Especially for the holidays, family get-togethers, picnics, reunions. This is the recipe you need in your life. Stay tuned for the video. So for this recipe, you have a number of ingredients. One is chicken broth, spices, onions, collard greens, apple cider vinegar, and turkey bacon. So for the onions, I did a large dice on them. The collard greens, I just basically rough chopped. I washed, cleaned, destemmed, and then rolled it up and then cut them into shreds basically. And then the turkey bacon, I don't use raw. I make sure it's fully cooked so then the bits and pieces are in there nice and crisp. So in the crock pot, I am going to lay the crispy bacon on the bottom. I prefer turkey bacon because I feel like it's a healthier meat over ham hocks or a turkey neck as far as like just the benefits, but you can use whatever you want. I had some that had brisket recently, and then the diced onions in the bottom. When you're piling in the greens, this is the part that might freak you out if this is your first time working with greens. They're really huge. It looks like it's not going to fit in the crock pot, but these shrink down so much. Don't be scared. And you can smush them, of course. They're, a green vegetable. I used some crushed black pepper and then I used ground black pepper. The crushed black pepper always, in all my videos, it just brings a different flavor and texture. And then the ground black pepper, I stretched it out more. And then I use cayenne pepper. So this one in the description box, I am going to put how much I use. But if you don't like your greens spicy at all, you can omit this and you can omit the crushed red pepper. And then I use garlic salt. If you are someone that's watching your sodium levels, omit the garlic salt, use minced garlic instead. And also don't use the seasoning salt. Use like a salt-free seasoning instead, like I believe Mrs. Dash. I also use a little bit of paprika, and you're gonna see how much I use of paprika in my recipes. I'm down to the bottom of the bottle, so I'm just gonna use the remainder of this inside this green recipe. As you can see, I am trying hard to get it all out. And then, so of course, Laundry sea salt, seasoning salt. What is wrong with me? I don't know. Anywho, I use that over the top. Now, as you're seeing, we're sprinkling it over the top, but don't worry, it will get around all the greens. You're gonna see in a little bit kind of what I do to assist getting the seasoning everywhere. And of course, like I said, crushed red pepper. So I believe it brings that little bit of heat to the greens and just packs an amazing amount of complex flavors for this. So after that, I use about a third to a fourth a cup of brown sugar. You can also limit this as well if you don't want your greens as sweet and you worry about sugars. And of course, wash my hands because that was dirty and nasty. So if you don't really want sugar as well in your greens, you can use coconut sugar or something, or you can even use a little bit of Splenda, like just a little bit of Splenda, but you can just omit it all together. It's your personal preference. That's what I love about greens is no one's green recipe is the same as somebody else's. It's based on personal preference, taste, what you've grown up eating. And I don't use water, I use chicken stock. So remember how I said the seasonings are if you're worried about how they're gonna get around? Pouring the chicken stock as slowly as you can over the seasonings, of course, is gonna bring it to the bottom. So a little bit more spread out. And then I'm also going to take my spoon and smush it around, get those seasonings down in there. Make sure all the chicken stock is down there. And also the measurement of chicken stock that I use is about half of that carton of chicken stock. So you don't need to fill it completely up because that will be so much liquid in your greens. You're gonna have more of a soup than actual collard greens for eating. Now that I got that all stirred around, I put the lid on it. And as you saw, even from just doing that, like the chicken stock, the greens have gone down in size. I put them on low for about 8 hours. Yes. So you can go about your day, go to work, come home, do the rest of dinner, and you got these delicious greens. Now, the last thing you need to do is finish with some apple cider vinegar. And listen, this is the one ingredient, please do not change. Don't use malt, don't use white vinegar. Apple cider vinegar brings out the best flavor in these greens. If you do use white vinegar, I always suggest you infuse it with peppers, or make your own like vinegar mix, but don't just try to just skimp out. No, either apple cider vinegar or infused vinegar, but please go big or go home. These greens are definitely worth it. I've had people try them and they were just taken aback. Like, you use turkey bacon? I'm like, oh yeah. I love the way these come out, so they're my favorite recipe. Enjoy! Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. If you haven't seen the previous video, go ahead and click on the box next to me. If you haven't already subscribed and this is your first time to the channel, the little logo down there, you go ahead and click on that and you're a part of the team. Now, see you in the next video. Bye!